Why, hello there, and welcome to my Unison League channel, and I will be your host, Timely. So, I just finished my Archer analysis, and now it's time to do my Soldier analysis, because I really like Soldier too, and they got a massive buff, guys. They have a massive freaking buff. They are so strong now. So let's look into them and their new skills, okay? So let's check it out. Okay, so first we have the Crystal Blade. Usable when HP is at 60% or above. Ability power 100, deals physical damage that uses both attack and defense to a single enemy 3 times. Added effect reduces the action speed of the target NPC by 10 for 15 seconds. And then by 10 for 15 seconds, and the cost recovery speed of the target by 5 for 15 seconds. So that was really worded weirdly, but this is similar to the mage's lunatic ray. It doesn't really do that much damage, guys. 100 ability power isn't that much. Again, it's weaker than a Quasar Waltz in my opinion. But it's still pretty good because multi-hit moves are really good for player versus enemy. You could use Crystal Blade and their new ability, Glistening Edge, together, and you could actually do some really pretty decent damage as a soldier for player versus enemy. So next we have the Iron Fortress. Ability power 160, deals physical damage that uses both attack and defense to a single enemy. Blinds the target for 10 seconds with a success value of 70, and reduces the damage taken by your character by 20% for 5 seconds. Now, it reduces the damage taken by your character by 20% for 5 seconds. That's actually really good. I'm not really sure if it'll stack with like Stellars or Barrier, but maybe it does. Who knows? So like if you're rolling like 2 Stellars for 20% mitigation, and then you have an Almighty Cut for another 20%, and then use this ability, you would have like a 60% mitigation theoretically, because I don't really know how it works yet. So, in my opinion, it looks really good. So, if you were to combo it, when used after Glorious Guard, deals physical damage with an ability power of 180. And then it further reduces the damage taken by your character by 30%. Now, the thing about comboing it is that it takes time. So, you can't really... Well, I guess you could combo it because it's a 7-second cooldown, so you could kind of waste your costs and just keep it in your rotation so that you can have that constant 20% mitigation or 30% mitigation, which could be really, really good for player versus enemy, especially if your elemental defense isn't really that great. So I think Iron Fortress is very viable for player versus enemy for tanking and whatnot, and for player versus player too. But I wouldn't really use it in my PvP build though. Really comes down to preference, really. Next, we have the Imperial Territory. So this applies Reliance State to one ally and their adjacent allies. Okay, and then max 3 allies. Okay, I don't know why that's in parentheses if it already says adjacent allies. That nullifies Unison Gauge reduction 1 time. So, Reliance State is really good, guys. It's super good. I think, in my opinion, it's better than an extended Unison from a Treasure Hunter. So, that completely just like, you know, obliterates one of the uses a Treasure Hunter was really good for. But what you can do in player versus player is have a Treasure Hunter and this ability, and then stack it on top of each other so that double negative pressure won't work. So that your snipers can just go ham on their Lancer and just wreck them for trying to negative pressure you guys. So I can see this being really, really good. And very, very sneaky too. Now we have Glistening Edge, guys. This is the best ability that has come out for Soldier. The best, okay? So, usable when a sword is equipped in your main weapon. Ability power 130. Deals physical damage that penetrates through nullifying and invulnerability effects to a single enemy 5 times. And it fills your character's unison gauge by 3. Now, this ability is so freaking powerful, guys. 5 times 130 AP, it's very powerful, okay? Now, let's compare this to Astrolabe from the Archer. Really quick, because I want to compare it. If I could find it. So Astrolabe does the same thing, but it has 150 ability power. But if you look closely in Astrolabe, it says it deals physical and magic damage to a single enemy at random, right? So it's not gonna be like Deadly Arabesque or Strength Arrow. It's not gonna use your attack and magic attack collectively, but it's going to use it separately. So if you have higher attack than your magic attack, your attack hits are going to do more than your magical hits, if that makes sense. So if you think about it, a soldier stacking like, you know, 350k attack and then using Glistening Edge, wouldn't that be stronger than an archer having 250 attack by 250 magic attack? So like, if you think about it, it's really, really powerful in my opinion. It only has 30 AP less than Astrolabe, that's it. So I really think Glistening Edge is super powerful. And if you're not running it, then what are you doing with your soldier? Seriously. So let's go on to the next one. Sword of Malice. Ability power 220, deals physical damage to a single enemy 1 time. Applies Reliant State to your character that nullifies unison gauge reduction 1 time. Now that's going to be really good because you can keep using it. You'll never be unison gauge down. You could use this at the very beginning of Colo and Duel, and then when they pop Kroit, it will not affect you, which is really, really good. So I can see this being super good for Duel and Colo. And also, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the ability power is actually really, really high. 220 AP, guys. That's no joke. If you were to stack your procs, like Seal procs, Art procs, Fatal procs, and other procs with high proc rate, and you were to double proc this, and then you were to get like a 300 AP hit, that's not bad. You could actually potentially one-shot some players. So I actually think this ability is really, really good. And also, when you combo it after Divine Eye, it removes buffs from your target. So where is Divine Eye anyway? Oh my gosh. So Divine Eye increases your character's attack ability accuracy by 30% for 20 seconds. So that's going to be a very awkward build. So if you're going to use Divine Eye and then Iron Fortress, then you would have to use Tidal Wave. Okay, so Tidal Wave. This is only usable when an axe is in your main slot, so you wouldn't have Glistening Edge. You'd be running a Tidal Wave build. So you would have 200 physical ability power 3 to 6 times on a single enemy, guys, and it has a success value of 70. So when you use Divine Eye, you would have a success value of 100, and then you would never miss. So that's the whole point of using Divine Eye. It's the only reason why you would use Divine Eye would be to combo it with Sword of Malice, and then using it for the accuracy for Tidal Wave. So you would have Divine Eye, Tidal Wave, Sword of Malice, and then the last ability slot would be Flexible. But really though, axes are so rare nowadays. Like, I don't even have any axes. So, I mean, it would be nice to run this kind of build in like player versus player if you weren't running Glistening Edge. But I don't know, guys. Glistening Edge is just so good, and Divine Eye is just kind of a waste of an ability slot. You can probably get similar damage using Glistening Edge. I don't know. 200 AP is a lot though. That's a ton. That is so much. Jesus Christ, if you were to hit all 6 times, and you were to proc, double proc too, like instant death. So you can run 2 builds, an axe build and a sword build with this, which in my opinion is what makes it really cool. So And last but not least, guys, you have your Glorious Guard. So, receives 40% damage taken by allies adjacent to yourself for 20 seconds and increases your character's max HP by 50% for 20 seconds. Now that's actually really good, so that if your allies take damage and then you have increased health bar, you won't be punished as bad if they're really squishy. So I honestly think that's really good. And for like soldier front lines, if they all have Glorious Guard up, I could see that being pretty cancerous. The only thing though that I think about it is that the duration on it is really, really short, so you can't really use it before unison battles or anything like that. But I can still see it being very useful for duel and call-out and for first round of RGB and whatnot. And also, lastly, what I want to talk about is the Udain's Blessing. Okay, guys, it gives you water defense from unison damage plus 100. Now that's huge, 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 because the heaviest hitting unisons are fire right now. You got your Michaela, okay, you got your Branma. Those two monsters alone make up like the entire sweeping meta. They hit so fucking hard, I kid you not. They're so annoying. So I literally, if I were to go soldier, and then I would go to my water monsters, I would have 300, 220, oh no, yeah, 240. So I'd have 540 water defense, and then with the passive, I would have 640 water defense, and then with my armors, that would go up to like 700 something. So I would have like 700 water defense just from becoming a soldier, guys, which is huge. Michaela, Brahma, they won't have shit on my soldier. So like, that's actually really, really good, and it's actually really good for the meta like that's going on right now, because fire unisons are just so nasty. So nasty. So that's it. That's all I have to say about soldier, guys. And I really think they're a powerful class. I honestly think it's going to be Soldier League pretty soon here. They're just too good. So I have to get going now. Peace.